So this is the last part where we are working with adding type. Now this is not in the textbook, so this part of the video is very important. So we're going to look at, we need to change, or all city change to either Phoenix or PHX. And the team names, we adjust them to any local community colleges. Any font is fine, please be creative with adding type. Failure to do so will result in a 0 in the assignment, which is not good. So we're going to open up our document and go to layers. We're going to unlock this text layer, and we actually need to bring our basketball up, so we're going to object show all, so our basketball is there too. We didn't do that in the last video. So we need to toggle this open, and where it says all city, I'm actually going to pull down a guide to the top of it. And I pulled down guides so when we measure our PHX, it fits there just fine. And I'm just going to hide all city. And where it says mid-down Flyers and Southland Eagles, I'm going to just drag that down. Maybe. Do Command Z. There we go, that's about it. And I'm just going to hide those layers. Now we're going to open up our type tool, keyboard shortcut T, and you're just going to draw a box. We can rearrange it later, and you're going to write Phoenix. You can select your type, and up here in your control panel you have characters, font, whatever. And I'm just going to increase my font size a bit. And I have more fonts because I download lots of fonts. And if you're curious about downloading fonts, you can go to like dafont.com or any font website, and I tell you how to download fonts within your computer. There's also add fonts from Typekit. Now we were kind of familiar with adding fonts if you did exercise 1 or lesson 1, which is kind of just for you to get used to creating documents. So you can play around and add different fonts, whatever makes you happy, what looks good. I think this one looks good, so when I download it called Academic M54, does not have to be this font, but I'm going to make this size way bigger. You can kind of type in a number, and that's obviously too big, but maybe I'll make that just PHX. And you can barely see it, but my outline box is green, and I'm just going to rearrange it right there, arrange it kind of there. My smart guides want to place it there. Cool. The next part is adding some local community college teams. So we are the South Mountain Cougars, and I also teach at Phoenix College, and they're the Bears. So I figure, let's have them play against each other. I don't care what team you use. Open up our type tool again, keyboard shortcut T, and we're going to draw another box. And since the font size is still saved, I can do a Command A to select all, or Control A, and just type something about half of that and see what it looks like. It's kind of big. Maybe I make it a bit smaller. Maybe South, new line, Mountain Cougars. And I can just resize this up a little closer and kind of play around. Maybe I want to kind of place there. font tool again, click and drag, Phoenix College Bears. And I'm not getting, you can get super fancy. I'm not trying to get super fancy. And maybe I move South Mountain over. And it looks good. Now remember, I had to go into this locked text layer, hide the layers that had the text that I didn't want. I could have deleted them, but I just hid them. And then I just did the font tool, type tool, and I just kind of added my own type. I'm going to do an extra video on using different type tools. But we're going to Command S, save our Illustrator file. And we're going to export. Now the book teaches us how to create a PDF. We will do both. You only need to turn in your JPEGs. So only turn in your JPEGs, but your PDF is just so you can do, a lot of people have trouble making PDFs. And you can make PDFs in Illustrator now. So if you have to make a PDF for a document for your work, instead of having to open up Adobe Acrobat, you can do a really cool one here, or make a really cool resume in Illustrator. So we're going to file, export, JPEG, use artboards, range 1 to 3. And click OK. I did range 1, 2, 3, so it saves each artboard with not just the artwork in separate documents as opposed to just one big document. And now we're going to save PDFs. So we're going to file, save as, which is weird because we're doing a lot of exporting. Adobe PDF. And you can do all or range. And if you do range, it's going to separate them into different documents. Save. It's going to open up this dialog box. Now we're on page 148. And there's presets, high quality print, Illustrator default. You can kind of play around with what you like to play around with, see what works, see what doesn't work. And you can go to Save PDF. Before we exit out, we're going to open up Finder. I have my tickets saved right here. And then my PDF is in separate pages. So this might be good. So let's say I had to print this document off. I just send this to the printer so they can print my tickets for me, and I have my awesome pictures that I created. Alright, and I would just submit these to grade. I will create a different document or a different video on how to edit text. Sorry.